Welcome everyone. Welcome. I'll just give it a little minute or so that everyone can just get their audio up and get their visuals up. Welcome to the Outsourced CFO webinar for COVID-19 strategies and support for entrepreneurs. It's crazy to see so many of you guys coming in. I think when we started setting up this session, we thought maybe, 15 or 20 or so entrepreneurs. We'll keep it small. We're not going to market this wide. We just want a small conversation around what can entrepreneurs do in this time to just, navigate the complexities of their companies and how can they survive and how can they thrive through this process. And I believe today we've got about 200 entrepreneurs that are all streaming in today. So we're super excited. It's the first time we're using this platform as a firm. So bear with us on anything technical. If it's your first time, welcome to Zoom. It's one of our favorite platforms for communication on video and a really cool tool for your company. So we just one or two little housekeeping things. The best way for you to get the maximum out of this presentation is if you can see the speaker and if you can also see their presentation. So at the top of your screen, if you take your mouse up to the top, you'll see there's a view options. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a side-by-side mode. If you click that on, you'll see the presentation and you'll see the speaker. And then you can shift them between. If you want to see more presenter or more presentation, then you can shift it in between. That's a really nice way to get the most out of the presentation. And then also, guys, we want you guys to ask questions. We want to give you guys the relevant content. We've gone out of our way to prep for the session in terms of our areas of expertise, but we really want to hear from you, the entrepreneurs and the business owners who are out there navigating the battles every day. So at the very bottom, there's a chat. If you click in there, you can chat. Make sure you set it that it sends your chat to the presenters. By the very end, we'll take all of those questions that you guys have asked, and we'll use whatever time is left to just go through some of those questions just to be able to tackle that. But yeah, guys, we've got a packed day ahead of us. But I just want to talk about the context today of why we're all meeting here today. And I think it's this worldwide pandemic called COVID-19 that's brought us together. At the moment, we have more than 2.5 million cases around the world. Almost 200,000 people have perished because of the virus. Half the world is in lockdown. Global markets are in turmoil. It's really chaos out there. And this isn't just a worldwide thing. This is also a really close to home thing. Here in South Africa, we're really feeling the pain. We've got a couple of thousand cases. We've got 65 deaths at the moment. We've been on a hectic lockdown for the last couple of weeks, as I'm sure all of you will really feel. The stock market has collapsed. The rand has collapsed. We've really had a tough time, and I think in economic pressure like this, where your currency devalues, where your markets are down, I think the biggest thing that comes to the biggest place where all that pressure comes down onto is the small and mid-sized company, the entrepreneurial business that's trying to employ their 10 or 20 or 50 people, that's trying to build a business and build a living. And I think that's one of the most complex places to be in, one of the toughest leadership roles one can have right now. So what we've done as Outsourced CFOs, we've just put together a little agenda of 3 of the core issues that we believe it will be really valuable for entrepreneurs to think about. The first one is, how do you navigate the current complexity of remote work? How do you go fully digital, fully remote as fast as you can? And Wilhelm is going to take you guys through that. We're going to look at people management. How do you manage and lead your people in this new normal? And Donna, one of our directors, is going to take you through that. And lastly, I'm going to tell you guys about some of the strategies and ideas around surviving and thriving and what the options for entrepreneurs are out there. So without much further ado, I'm going to hand the floor over to Wilhelm. Wilhelm is our Chief Operating Officer at Outsourced CFO, and he's had an amazing journey the last while of really taking Outsourced CFO from a company that works from the office to a fully remote business, and he's also helping many clients do the same. Wilhelm, over to you.
Thanks, Lau. If you can stop your screen share, then I'll share the presentation. All right, great, guys. Thank you so much. It's lovely having you all here in my lounge, like most of us are. And it was my role at Outsourced CFO to, within 24 hours, to take us remote. So today I'll just be sharing some practical things, some things we've learned, some things we're still busy learning, and what the road looks like ahead for working remotely. All right. So who were we before the lockdown? Well, this is the Outsourced CFO team. We're 29 passionate individuals in the finance industry. 28 of us were primarily at the office, so most days, full days, and we had one team member that worked remotely 100%. It's that guy. His name is Johan. If there's any clients on the line, I assume many of you already know him. So this is a slide that we used internally for thinking about going remote and how does one go remote. This was all done long before lockdown, and we saw 4 strategies. The first is the number 1, no remote strategy, and that is many of us in the room. We had no remote strategy. We were all in the office. Yeah, I worked from a coffee shop here or there, but primarily we were office-bound workers. Then we had remote second, where most team members are still in the office, but 1 or 2 individuals are working remotely. Remote first is where most of your team members work remotely, and one or 2 in the office, and then 100% remote, where you have no physical office and everyone is working from different environments. And where were we? Well, we were firmly stuck in point number 2 with a remote second strategy, only having 1 individual that works remotely full time. But we're already thinking about moving to a remote first strategy. What would be needed? What are the policies, the procedures? How would it work? How would clients communicate? So we're fortunate in that sense of already started that thinking, but we didn't even consider that we'll implement it this year. So like most organizations, within 24 hours, we were 100% remote. So what did we do? We're obviously not alone in this. The whole world had to go remote. But here's what we did by following 3 simple rules. Rule number 1 is being proactive. It's really core at Outsourced CFO that we remain proactive in all spheres of things that we do in a day-to-day basis. So as an example, I've got the COVID-19 timeline here in South Africa, where on the 15th of March, we had the president's first address. And during that address, he announced social distancing, restrictions on gatherings, etc. On the 23rd of March, we had the president's second address, whereby he announced the lockdown. On the 26th of March, the lockdown actually started and we all had to go remote. And then we have the unknown. Lockdown ends. We don't know yet when that will be. We'll hopefully know more this evening, but it's highly unlikely that business will return to normal as what we used to know it prior to lockdown. Now, in the thinking of being proactive, where did we go remote? Well, we went on the 16th of March, the day after the lockdown, the social distancing and restriction on gatherings were announced. We went remote. We wanted to be proactive. We wanted to take care of our staff members. But what it did was it gave us that 11-day grace period for people to be remote and get used to it and make mistakes and forget something in the office and actually go back and fetch something. Another thing that really suited us well was that our tech stack or our technology stack was lockdown or remote ready. So we make use of a whole variety of technology solutions, and I just put some on the screen today, for us today. Zoom, for example, for web meetings and webinars like we're having today. 3CX is our telephone system we use, and it was already cloud-based. So immediately our telephone systems remained online, nothing changed. Our receptionist is still picking up the phone just from her home now. And calls are still coming through and clients are still able to freely communicate with us. Xero, I hope you all know Xero. If you don't, you have to reach out to us. Xero, a fantastic, the world #1 cloud-based accounting software in our opinion. Okay, really setting our own organization and that of our clients up for success for proper real-time live financial management. We're avid supporters of what Google is doing at the moment. Things do change, but right now we're really making use of the full Google suite of products that really just enables our business to work remotely, work effectively, and be agile in our approach to our own challenges, but that also of our clients. The second rule, very important rule that we follow, is that we work like nothing has changed. Okay, but a lot has changed, but yet we work like nothing has changed. Some things, some examples of things that we kept exactly the same is our dress code policy remains the same. It's funny, but we ensure by getting up in the morning, taking a shower, putting on a shirt, putting on your jacket or your tie, whichever is your organization's dress code, and not just rocking up in your pajamas, really just gives that, it gives yourself and the employee just such a level of, all right, I'm ready, I'm here, I'm going to work. Okay, some guys go smart casual. With that, I mean smart at the top, casual at the bottom. All right, but that's just some of the guys. But we really ensure that people feel that they are ready for the day. Monday, we have a Monday motivation every Monday morning at 9 a.m. We used to have that in the office. Now we have it remotely. We keep it there. It's compulsory. Everyone needs to be there because we either share critical information, we motivate our team for the week to come, or we have some fun. We do some fun activities, and there's some great ideas of things you can do online while still creating that company culture. We have regular team check-ins in place. So we typically have the sales team meeting or the marketing team meeting, the accounting or all our various departments had meetings prior to lockdown. Those remain exactly in place. Okay. And then people still take leave. People either get sick or people need to rest their mind. So people actually are still taking annual leave during this period of time so that they can rest. Yeah, we can't leave home, but we can rest. Step away from your computer, put down your device, and make sure that you have that restful moment. Okay. We documented everything. That's a very important rule. So when we went remote, we had to roll out a whole bunch of new policies, or more specifically, some updated policies. So our policies will be unpacked a little bit later. Dana will be speaking about it more during people management, but how to use your calendar, how to communicate, travel policies, how to take leave. All of these policies were critical in going forward into lockdown because our team members started wondering, and you don't want someone in your organization wonder what they need to do or what is permitted or how they should react. We documented everything, shared it, and from there we could do regular Q&As. Okay, so obviously some things had to change. So what did we change? Well, this is what we look like today. Yeah, we're during our Monday motivations, and I'll share now on our Friday sessions these days, we do it remotely. We make use of Zoom or another technology that's applicable, and we share. And video is so important because now we have a face-to-face. We really quickly found that if someone switches off the camera, they disengage or they're not present or doing something else, whilst actually should be focusing on the team. So switch on your camera and be a part of the team is really cool. Okay, some new things we introduced. We introduced a Friday check-in in addition to our Monday motivation. So now we ensure that we have a check-in in the beginning of the week and the end of the week for all team members. Our Friday one is much more sociable. What you're doing this weekend, what you're planning, let's play a game, those type of things, and where we need to share some important information. We also had to do some portfolio shifts. So we really took a look at our team, how their home connectivity was, what amount of data the various clients' portfolios had to consume, and we shifted accordingly, making sure that we can still deliver on our clients' promises. We also had to look at our non-income producing team members. During a time like this, we have team members that are in the office to service the office environment or the people in the office. Now we're no longer there. So we had to rethink, what are we doing with them? What are we going to do? What role are they going to start playing in the organization? And had to come up with some creative ideas of not just how to keep them busy, but really how to educate them, how to grow them as individuals, and also have them either play a part in income producing activity or in a core operational remote environment. We also had to change our working hours. This is specifically focused around our parents. I'm a parent, I've got a 1-year-old. I really hope he doesn't run here through the call. He's taking a nap right now. but we had to change our remote environment for our parents because we only get around I personally get around 6 hours done during the normal 8 to 5. The other 2 hours I'm working in the evening. So we had to be a little bit more flexible. We do regular client and staff surveys. So we regularly ask our clients how things are doing, how are we doing, and we also regularly ask our team members how are things going. Specifically in and around our team, we regularly send the same survey next week and the week after that and the week after that, so that we can measure what is happening and what is someone's emotionality around COVID-19 during this period of time. Because if your team members are not motivated or feeling stressed, you want to know about it. And you want to be able to plot, as we say, flatten the curve. We want to be able to plot someone's emotionality with this curve as well. And that comes back to being proactive and ensuring that you know what is happening with your team. And we have regular in-person, I take it upon myself to make sure that in a 2-week period, I try and get to each individual team member and have a one-on-one conversation. How are you doing? Is everything okay? What's happening in your life? Anything that I can help with? Nothing, great. Enjoy your day. Okay. We feel loved, we feel cared, and we switch on our video. Very important. Remember that we are working with people still. It's not just a number on a spreadsheet or a salary somewhere. We are still working with people, their livelihoods, and their families. So always keep the human component in mind when you are managing your team members remotely and making critical business decisions. Right. Coming closer to the end, some important things to check. Our biggest challenge with going remote was connectivity. Like most organizations, we're not a first world country. We've got pockets of where it feels like first world when it comes to connectivity, and then other areas where it's absolutely third world. Our challenges were some had no connectivity at home, some had poor connectivity at home, and some reported good connectivity. So yes, I've got a good internet connection, but in reality, they disregarded an important part of how to test the internet connectivity, and that's a golden nugget that I'll share shortly. Before we get there, when we went into lockdown, prior to lockdown, our internet demographic was as follows. We were very fortunate that already 50% of our team members had fiber at home. But the worrying component was that 40% of the pie, which is 2G, 3G, or 4G connections. And that created some instability with team check-ins, but also with client check-ins. And look, going forward, where we are today, we've gone to 63% of fiber already. Many team members have realized they need the right connectivity to be able to work, and we've worked with them as Outsourced CFO and our internal operational team to find the best connections for the environment at the right prices, at the right packages, and at the right speeds. Okay. So this is the golden nugget that I refer to with testing your internet connectivity. Really important for all business owners to consider what the ping is of their team members at home. What is ping or latency? Well, when we look at an internet connection, we all know upload speed, we all know download speed, but many people don't know what ping or latency is. So let me quickly explain that. Download speed is how fast something downloads to your computer. Upload speed is how fast it uploads, how fast you're sending information. So for this video call, very important. And then often disregard ping. And that's the time it takes to send a piece of information from your home to the recipient, and for the recipient to come back and confirm that they received that information. Now, when you're sending information, it's broken down into multiple little packets and send one, and each packet needs to come back and confirm that it's been received. So imagine you have a Ferrari, okay? We all know a Ferrari can do 100 miles an hour, no problem. But imagine you take a tennis ball and you put it underneath the accelerator and you step on that accelerator. The Ferrari will still reach 100 miles per hour, but it will take a much longer time to get there. And that tennis ball is the example of ping. If you prevent your accelerator, no matter how fast your internet connection up or download is, if your ping is really high, you're going to find that you've got a very poor and ineffective internet connection. So how do you test? Well, there's a quick link and I'll be posting this on my LinkedIn after this conversation, also some guidelines as to what is a good ping, what's a good download, and what's a good upload speed. So you're welcome to find me on LinkedIn after this conversation. I'll be posting it there for some practical guidelines. Remember, the most important thing is that culture eats strategy for breakfast. I've learned this from Donna, who will be speaking about people shortly. And if you can have the best strategy, fantastic, you are thought leading. But if you don't have the right culture in place and the right people to drive that strategy, it will most likely fail. Okay. So looking ahead, will things go back to normal after the lockdown? Highly unlikely. For the future, we are looking at 3 rules. Number 1, remain proactive. We're continuously looking at what is coming, what government is saying, what our own data is saying. We are looking for things that are changing. As things are changing,